Hey everybody, how you doing? I hope you like the geese, the Canadian geese. You see the fountain over there? Isn't that beautiful? And look at all the geese down there, and the lake, and the beautiful island. Crazy, huh? Aren't they beautiful? They're great. Just going back and forth so you can see all that, the big flock that's here. There's the fountain again. There's the other geese down there. Isn't that beautiful? That's so cool. I like coming to the lake and seeing the geese. Just going slow for you so you can see everything. Back and forth. They're all resting because it's really warm today. I'll just set it right here so you guys can see. I'm gonna turn it over to the net to a bigger flock population right there. There's a lot. You see the other fountain there? Isn't that cool? I'm gonna zoom in just gently so you guys can see. I'm sorry if it's shaky. There we go. And then just zoom gently out so you guys can see them. Just stop it. Just put it right there for just a second so you guys can see. And then what we're going to do is I'll turn it a little bit more now so you guys can see. Do you see that? You see those there? Isn't that cool? There's a lot of the flock of the Canadian geese here right now. This is just one of them. The one we did yesterday, they actually had little babies with them. This is an older flock. These are older, and I'll just stop right here so you can see the island. And then what I'm going to do is come over here, and then you can get a little bit of the fountain in. And you see the fountain there? Isn't that cool? And then there's a couple ducks down, or geese down there. It's a little windy. They're staying cool because of how hot it is right at the present moment. So thank you for your patience on kind of it being a little dim. They're under the shade. So these are so cool. Geese are so cool, especially these right here. We'll just zoom in gently so you can see them. Then I'll pivot it just like that so you guys can see it. Further. You see them? Isn't that cool? Now I'm going to come over here. Do you see them there? Sorry if it's a little shaky. There we go. You see them right there? I think they're cool. Then there's some over here. One's resting right there. Then there's a couple there. Then there's a couple. One standing right there, staying cool. Then there's one sitting. There's a couple sitting, couple standing, a couple eating. Let's see if there's one over here. Yeah, there's a couple that they might want to go into the. Probably a little later, they'll go into the pool or the lake. Sorry, and they'll look really good. I'll stop right here so you can see this batch. Oops, I'll just hold it like that. Hold on, sorry about the shake. I'll just stabilize it. The wind's really blowing right now. And it's kind of shaking the camera thing. And then we're gonna turn this. I'm just gonna turn it now. There you go. Yeah, we're at the lake. Now I'm going to zoom back out a little bit so you can get a bigger picture. And then now that I could just put it like that for a little bit, so that I'm holding it so the wind doesn't shake it a little bit. There we go. Then you can see all the lily pads there and the island, and there's like I think there's like 5 or 6 little geeselings there, or not geeselings, but geese. They're older. There's a couple there. You can see the island. It's very beautiful. And then there's some over here. They're kind of all just kind of taking it nice and easy. It's warm. Then we'll get a little bit of the fountain again. One of them right there. And then there's some that are resting. The fountain's really beautiful. And then we'll turn it right here. Just gently turn. Keep it. Just you see how the island is. That's just so beautiful with all the green leaves and just the beauty of it. I'll get to where there's a bigger flock of them. Right about. I think that's about. That might be where it is. Right there. There's a lot of them right in there. And we could actually zoom in just a little bit. Ah, it's windy. I'll try to zoom in. I'll try to move it a little bit. I apologize if it's shaky. One's cleaning. Do you see that? It's so They're so beautiful and just incredible creatures that God made. I'm gonna zoom out now. Just gently zoom out so you guys can see the whole flock. There you go. And I'll just put it right there. That's one of the bigger parts of them. There's some over here. There's some that see right over there. There's a couple there, couple there, and then this is where the majority of them. They're on the side of the hill, and so it's kind of hard to get down there. I can't really do it on the hill, otherwise the wind would kind of blow it a little too much. So I'll get it to where there's a whole bunch of the flock. The majority of them is right about there, so y'all can see it. It's a little windy, so that's we'll just keep it right there for you to see them a little bit. Let's see if I can't zoom in just a little bit there for you. And then I'll just push it just down a little bit so you can see that one right there. They're just chilling out right now. You gotta love the geese. They're just taking a nap. It's nice and warm outside. I'm gonna just zoom back down a little bit so you guys can see a tiny bit when I move it back. And then I'll come over and pivot it just a little bit over here. See, there's some down there. Then there's the island. And then you turn here and you can see some more. A little bit more of the island and the geese, the Canadian geese. And then you can also get a beautiful picture of the fountain. I'll center it with the geese in the picture. Right there, right about there for you to look at. Isn't that beautiful? You have 2 geese right there, then you have a beautiful fountain. And now we'll turn it a little bit so that you can see some of the beautiful other geese. That's a smaller batch of them. There's some right about. It's beautiful. They're so magnificent of creatures that the Lord made. Yeah, they're. I'll try to zoom in a little bit. It's a little windy, so I apologize if it's a little shaky. I'll try to zoom in a tiny bit so you can kind of see the flock a little bit. See them right there? They're resting right there. And then there's some right here. They're resting. Some are standing. There's some that are walking around. I don't think there's any over. Nope, there's none over there. There's some down there by the lake or the pond area. Then there's some here. And then there's a couple right there. One's resting. There's a couple there. There's a couple resting right there. Okay, dokie. Let me see if I can't. There's a couple standing. We'll go back to where we can see a little closer. So just bear with me. I'm turning it back. Excuse me. I think this. Let me see if there's. I think there's a little bit more of a batch of the flock right here. Let's see if I can't zoom in just a little bit more. Let me see if I can't just pivot it down just a little bit. See, isn't that amazing? I just love the geese. They're just so beautiful. They're all resting. It's been a really warm day. So there's some there. There's one that's eating. I don't think any are in the pond yet because it's kind of a little hot. Let me turn this a little bit. There we go. And then there's one. I'll set it on this guy right here. Geese. This little guy geese. Let's see. There we go. Wow. They are pretty big. Now the story goes that a couple of the geese stayed behind instead of going, migrating like they normally do. They supposedly the Lord wanted them to have some little guys here and gals, of course, and they didn't know. One summer, all of a sudden they popped out of the water area, bushy place down there, and then we had some geeselings, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but and so this is just one of the flocks. We've had these birds for these geese for a couple of years, and there's a lot of flocks. This is just one of the older batch of flocks. They have a couple little ones that we did yesterday. So if you wanted to see the live stream there, it's 11 minutes. So you can see it's a little shaky because of the wind a little bit, and they were kind of moving around because the little geeselings were eating. I don't know if I'm saying their baby name right, but yeah, it was just cute to see them all. And then they come over when you're taking a picture. They come running over. Then it's like really hard. You have to move. And then the camera gets even more shaky. And it's like, oh, you're trying to do a good picture of all the geese there. Let's see, there's some right there. And yeah, but yeah, we had one filming yesterday about over 11 minutes, and it's a tiny bit shaky on the camera viewing, but there you can see all the little geese, little geese, baby geese, and a little bit of older geese, and some of the other stuff. It's just so you just gotta love it. Oh, look, it's got one leg up. That is so funny. Look at that. That is so funny. That is funny. You don't get to see that. That's different. Wow. Huh. Wonder what it's doing. That's interesting. These other ones are resting right here. One's over there. We'll have to go back to see if it put its leg down. No, it hasn't yet. Let's see if we can't zoom in to see what it's doing. It's up. I wonder why it has its leg up. That is really different. Huh. Maybe there's a piece of wood there or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's got to clean its leg or something. That's different. I don't know. Hopefully it's okay. Yeah. There's a whole bunch sleeping right there. There's one that's being nice to the other one, cleaning the other one. Sorry about it being shaky. It's just a little bit of the wind. There's some there. So we'll go back a little bit so you can all enjoy. See, there's some there. There's some here. There's some there. There's one that's standing. So, I see anything over there? Nope. No, 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 no. And we'll zoom out again so it doesn't. I'm trying to hold on to it, and I'll just zoom out just a little bit. Let me zoom out a little further for you, so you could see the batch of them. I'm just gonna put it back in a better spot. There we go. Sorry if the chat's in the way, but that this is the kind of where the majority of the flocks and the geese are right now, the older ones, and then some are cleaning. It's really fun. I know they're so cute. The geese are, but you should see the little geese, the baby geese, when they're with their mama and daddy, and they're eating. So I got to see when they first came out. It was really cool. They would run around, eat a little bit, and then all of a sudden they would just drop right there, take a little rest, and then the mom and daddy geese would make it so that they would get off the path so that they could safe and get a little more. It's like they're just so cute when they're so tiny. You gotta love the Canadian geese. Okay, I'm gonna turn it a little bit so it doesn't get boring for you guys, just a tiny bit. Okay, there's some over here, right there, and then I'll just turn it a little bit more. Let's see if we can't get any more. There we go. There's about four there, and in just a little bit I'll turn it back. Just a second. Okay, and right about now I'll turn it. There we go. There's a little bit more of a group down there. There's one that's coming over to see what I'm doing. Hey, how you doing? I'm just taking a look, just seeing how you're doing. There's some ducks that are coming too. Wow, that oh no, there's the babies. I think those are they're bringing their wow. I think those are baby geese there. There's a couple ducks that are quacking. Let me see if I can't just pivot it down so you guys can see that a little bit. I'll zoom out a little more so you guys can see that entire bunch. See, there's some ducks right there. There's some geese. There's some baby geese. Maybe those might be ducks. I'm not sure. They look cute though. Anyways, let's zoom in on those little guys. Oh, look at that! Aren't they so cute? Even if they are little ducks, they're so cute. They're cute too. So look at them there. Oh, that's so beautiful. They're so beautiful. Let's see if I can't zoom in a little more for you. Sorry about the wind it being shaky, but that's worth zooming in right there. I'm trying to hold it as best as I can, the wind, but so I'm trying to zoom it in. Oh, they are so cute. Oh, little precious darlings. Those are resting right there. Some are just standing. Do you see that? There's a couple there resting. Couple. Let's see. There's a big flock, bunch of them down there. See that? Yeah, they're just pretty geese. Then I think there's some babies. Let me see if I can get them on. They might be duckling babies. Let's see over here. Where did they go? Ah, there they are. Keep going, keep going. Ah, there they are. There's the sweethearts. Right there. Sorry about the wind. The wind's a little shaky. They're walking a little bit. Let's see if I can't. I'm gonna try to pivot around. Sorry about the shaky. Let's see. Where are they? Hold on. I gotta zoom out. I apologize about this. Let me make sure I get them. Ah, there they are. There we go. Not zoom in. They were moving around a little bit. There we go. Let's see if I could just position it right there and get it. Let's see if I can come back just a little bit so you guys can see. There you go. Those are the small little ones right there. Hi, little guy. How you doing? I have one that's right here coming to see me. The geese, the little guy is right there. So I'm trying to get a good picture of him for you. Oh wow, that's amazing. It looks pretty happy. It doesn't look uh, upset at all. It's a sweetheart of a goose. Wow, right here, it's right by me. That's cool. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it right here. I wanted to thank everyone for logging on, participating. Always remember that Little Bear Storytime loves you. And of course, now we're going to say the geese love you as well because that one came over to see you. And always remember the greatest gift is the Lord Jesus Christ and that God loves you and that we get to see his creation up close like this. So be blessed, and Lord willing, I'll have a stream later this evening. God bless you all and have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.